Hello everyone and welcome to Sunburned. Albino ranks every starter in Pokemon from worst to best. We're gonna do it by grouping the starter and its evolutions into one package, so like comparing Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, and Venusaur collectively against, say, Litten, Toracat, and Incineroar. This doesn't include Gen 8, because we haven't even seen what their evolutions look like yet. I'll be judging them mostly on superficial nonsense and my own personal heavy biases. It's sure to be a good time. Starting from worst and working our way to best, number 21, Tepig, Pignite, and Emboar. Everyone remember the height of firefighting fatigue? Gen 3 released Blaziken, and we were like, oh wow, that's awesome. Then Gen 4 released Infernape, and we were like, oh okay, firefighting again, still cool though. And then Gen 5 pulled this fat slab of bacon out of their ass like, eat that shit. Firefighting for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks, you glutton. Tepig, Pignite, and Emboar are the worst evolutionary line to date. These Pokemon could literally cook themselves alive in a frying pan and make everyone's day better that way instead of trying to exist otherwise. Number 20, Chikorita, Bayleaf, and Meganium. Here's the deal. Chikorita's kinda cute. Bayleaf is like a perfect middle evolution visually. It looks exactly how you think it should. And then there's Meganium, who looks like a Pokemon the Incredible Hulk would use if he was really into gardening. Meganium is some kind of mutant monster gone wrong. It does not fit this line at all. It's like, imagine that these Pokemon are actual plants, and you start with Chikorita as the seed, and you water it with care, and it grows and sprouts into a perfectly normal Bayleaf, and then once that happens, you dump a truckload of radioactive mulch into your flower bed and start watering it with your own piss. Meganium looks like someone flushed a Bayleaf down the toilet, but it survived in the sewers while harboring a grudge against humanity. Number 19, Popplio, Brionne, and Primarina. I don't even really have jokes, I just don't like this. A circus seal concept isn't even bad, but the whole clown aspect ruins it for me. Brionne in particular just reminds me of those girls who put on way too much makeup and they're like, tell me I'm pretty. And I'm like, I would, but I don't want my pants to catch on fire and singe my ball hair. Even the happiest clown is sad on the inside. Number 18, Chespin, Quilladin, and Chestnut. Chespin is tied with Emolga for me in terms of most annoying Pokemon in the anime. Granted, I've only seen like 4 of the generations, but it's like, damn, that Pokemon is straight up useless in battle, and it gets in all sorts of trouble. Quilladin is what happens when you're the fat kid in middle school and nobody wants to eat lunch with you because they think you'll inhale the whole cafeteria King Dedede style and then bounce away. Chestnut is a name that's wasted on chestnut. Like the root word dreadnought is such a cool word that would be much better applied to a Pokemon that is actually badass enough for it, which coincidentally, now that I think about it, is exactly what they did with Dreadnought, the new huge snapping turtle Pokemon coming out in Sword and Shield. Good job, Game Freak. That dude looks the part. Number 17, Squirtle, Wartortle, and Blastoise. Someone has to be brave enough to say it. The Generation 1 starters are basic. They are an ancient relic, a beginning mile marker that shows how far we've come in the past 25 years. I enjoy progress when it comes to this franchise. I hope they keep making Pokemon till I'm too old to remember their names. But I'll grant you that nobody will ever forget the names Squirtle, Wartortle, and Blastoise, or at least Squirtle probably. It's so rare to have a starter middle evolution that looks good, and Wartortle is not an example of that, so sucks for him. Speaking of Dreadnought in the last entry, Dreadnought looks like it would fuck up Blastoise, so that's fun. I want to see that battle. Number 16, Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, and Venusaur. That's right, taking it a step further. You thought seeing the Squirtle line in the bottom 5 was heartbreaking enough? Add the Soar family to the bottom 6, watch the world weep. Detective Pikachu actually went and made Bulbasaur adorable and googly-eyed, but Ivysaur and Venusaur are still meh. You might be the first 3 entries in the Pokedex, so you think you got OG clout, but your 15 minutes are over. We're all about Grookey now and whatever he evolves into. I'm Team Scorebunny though. Hashtag Scorebunny Society, roll up. Number 15, Snivy, Servine, and Serperior. It's not good news when your starter Pokemon is only good when it has its hidden ability. Serperior needs that contrary Leaf Storm in order to be anything, but when it does have that, it's pretty alright. Snivy is a Pokemon with attitude, and I like that, though why it evolves into a white trash monster I'll never know. Have you heard Servine in the show? Servine! The hell is that? I watched Black and White like 4 years ago, and I still remember that somehow. Snivy is this sort of standoffish little tsundere creature, Serperior is this elegant giant cobra, and in between them is Servine! Number 14, Rowlet, Dartrix, Decidueye. I was on board with the grass flying. We had only had Tropius, and I guess Shaman, but I don't really count legendaries or mythicals when it comes to new type combinations, and a grass flying type that could actually do something would have been very appreciated. So we saw Rowlet, and I was like, hell yeah. Then it evolves into Dartrix, and I'm like, okay, not sure what happened to Rowlet to make him turn into an emo butler, but sure, this is just the gateway into the final evolution after all. Then we saw Decidueye, and I was like, oh, this looks cool, and then I saw the type, and I was like, no! Why? You may not have noticed this, but Grass Ghost is the single most prevalent dual-type combination of new Pokemon since Generation 6. These last 2 generations have added 6 different Grass Ghost-type Pokemon. Pumpkaboo and Gourgeist, Phantom and Trevenant, Decidueye, and Dhelmise. They're really riding it for some reason. Everyone makes jokes about firefighting. I'm about done with Grass Ghost myself. At least firefighting was limited to the starters. But despite all that, Decidueye is still cool, but despite that, Decidueye is too weak for how slow he is. 70 base speed is embarrassing for a Pokemon like that, and the sad part is that among the Alola region, he's still one of the fastest. This dude should be speedy and nimble AF, and he ain't, so he's a letdown. Number 13, Charmander, Charmeleon, and Charizard. I mean, you knew they couldn't be that much further down from the others. I am mostly a Fire-type starter loyalist, with 1 or 2 exceptions, but just being Fire-type isn't enough to bring Charizard out of retirement, and we know it certainly didn't save Emboar. Charizard is just over and done with to me. When we were kids, he was like this awesome dragon. Everybody wanted to ride a Charizard and have a Charizard partner and show off to all your human children friends who, given those circumstances, would then probably also have Charizard, so who'd give a shit? But now we have real dragons. We have Salamence. We have Hydreigon. We have Haxorus. We have Como-O. Mega Charizard X was a valiant attempt to bring some level of badassery back to Charizard, and it worked to some extent, but he's just an old man now. He's 25. He's my age. He's ancient. Number 12, Piplup, Prinplup, and Empoleon. Aw, Piplup is a cute little penguin. Prinplup is the second worst mid-stage evolution behind Quilladin, and Empoleon is badass. Emperor penguins just command that sense of authority based on the name, and being Steel-type in addition to Water-type just adds that layer of stoicism. But to get there, you have to struggle through its derpy previous stage. Prinplup is just, I don't even know how to describe it. It's just not ready for prime time. Prinplup needs a few more years of experience before it gets its big beak. I mean, break. That was a joke worthy of the Pokemon franchise. Number 11, Cyndaquil, Quilava, Typhlosion. Typhlosion might seem and act all big and tough, but it's not even larger than a 10-year-old. To me, it actually has the most basic design of any Fire-type third-stage evolution. It's just a blue badger worthy of an Ace Attorney Precinct mascot that also breathes fire. Cyndaquil is cute, despite its crippling inability to open its eyes, and Quilava is one of the better mid-stages because his design is understated and you can see the potential for what he might turn into. But then he just turns into Typhlosion, and you're like, oh, you're bigger now. Alright. Number 10, Totodile, Croconaw, Feraligatr. This evolutionary line greatly thanks Game Freak for making Gen 4 happen so it could be actually alright. I know I have a habit of clowning all the mid-stage evolutions because they're easy targets, but what is Croconaw wearing? Is that a tattooed loincloth? Swim trunks? I don't know if he's looked in a mirror recently, but he definitely should not get into a pool without a shirt on. Totodile is adorable, I really like it, and Feraligatr is badass to an extent, now that it can excel as a physical attacker, and by excel I mean be just okay, because I just looked it up and his base attack is 105, which is horrible compared to what it should be. Also, obligatory dad-ass reference. Number 9, Mudkip, Marshtomp, and Swampert. The infamous meme. I ain't trying to say Mudkip isn't cute, but he's a little overrated. He's fine. Probably the cutest water-type starter, but that doesn't mean that much. Evolves into Marshtomp and gets a ground type just so it can be extra terrible against your rival, then evolves once more into Swampert, which is pretty cool, pretty good Pokemon. Has 5 more base attack than Feraligatr for some reason, so it can create some spicy earthquakes. Feraligatr needs a Mega. All the Gen 2 starters do, really. Or a sweet-ass Galarian form would be cool too. None of the Gen 3 starters needed a Mega, but look what happened. Number 8, Oshawott, Dewott, and Samurott. The rare entry in this list that is actually most held back by its final evolution. Oshawott is one of the most endearing starters Ash has ever trained, and Dewott is just way cooler than people give it credit for. A mid-stage evolution that's badass on its own, almost unbelievable. Dewott is like an otter assassin, using his shells like dueling daggers. Frankly, he should have evolved into something more Greninja-esque, but instead we got this I don't even know looking thing, just another big hulking uninspired monster to add to the rest of them. The root word of Samurott is samurai, so if you wanted to go in that direction, you should have created a more human-shaped stands-on-two-legs swordsman otter of peerless skill. That would have been exceptional, and then we'd have this starter package in the top 3 easy. But nope. Number 7, Turtwig, Grovyle, and Torterra. Why do I constantly have an idea about Pokemon that they're way stronger than they actually are? I looked up Torterra's attack stat because I was going to brag about it, but it's only 109. That's less than Swampert. Swampert! Torterra should have 120 minimum. In fact, the only starter Pokemon who has an attack stat above 120 is Emboar. God damn it. Also, Primarina has 126 special attack. Did Game Freak nerf all my boys when I wasn't looking and then buff everyone I don't care about? Have I been wrong this entire video? Too late to go back now. Turtwig is cute. I actually like the way Grovyle looks, and Torterra would be badass with about 15 more base attack, kind of like Flygon. Did you know Flygon and Trapinch have the same attack stat? It's been 5 generations. I will never stop pointing this out until something is done. Number 6, Chimchar, Monferno, and Infernape. Infernape is a worthy firefighter. I'll say it, I don't care. It's not as strong as Blaziken, but it's faster, and in a battle between Blaziken and Infernape, where both of them have Earthquake, Infernape's Earthquake would come out faster, which means it wins. The idea that anyone could talk about firefighting fatigue during Generation 4 is laughable. Infernape is good. Chimchar also satisfied our deep need for a monkey starter Pokemon, which nobody knew they wanted but could feel a deep satisfaction when they saw it, and now Grookey is trying to encapsulate that yet again in Generation 8 with Grass, which means Generation 12 is going to have a water monkey starter, and that's an albino guarantee. Monferno is also a decent middle evolution, showing clear progress towards its final destination without looking awkward or unfinished. Number 5, Litten, Toracat, and Incineroar. We're finally in the top 5, so these are your winners. Litten looks strikingly different from the rest of the starters, like in any generation, but it's a good different. It's mostly the eyes. Pokemon is very recognizable based on how it draws its creature's eyes, and Littens are a decidedly different breed, but they're still good. The real star of the show here, though, is Toracat. Toracat is my favorite starter Pokemon, period. It is absolutely perfectly designed. Best mid-stage evolution out of all 800 plus Pokemon in existence. If you went into Sun and Moon blind, and your Litten evolved into Toracat, you became immensely excited, like, holy shit, if this is the mid-stage, the final evolution must be sick. And then you'd get Incineroar, which is the most left-field curveball this game's ever thrown. We went from Housecat to young prehistoric lynx, and instead of following the natural path to big saber-toothed tiger or something, which would have been epic, we stopped off at the WWE and got a ringside seat to a wrestling match. Seriously, what the hell happened? Super Smash Bros. Ultimate has made me like Incineroar more than I previously did, since I had trouble getting over the shell shock, but I still maintain that a saber-toothed cat would have been better. Also, I hate it when Pokemon lose stats upon evolving. Toracat has 90 base speed, which drops to 60 when it becomes Incineroar. Given that speed is also my most valued stat, which is why Generation 7 was particularly hard on me, this hurts me deeply. Everyone in Alola was slow as molasses, with like 4 non-legendary exceptions. Galar better bring the speed. Number 4, Treecko, Grovyle, and Sceptile. Best grass-type starters right here still haven't been beat. They're everything I like in a starter. Fast, strong, and either cute or cool looking. Treecko is a cute little gecko that still somehow looks like a 90-year-old man. Grovyle is another badass mid-stage, well done, and Sceptile is slightly ugly, but also cool and strong. I have no idea why his Mega is Dragon-type. Dude is not a dragon. Is he a big lizard? Yes, but he's still a gecko at heart, and there ain't no gecko dragons, and if there were, it would be terrifying. At least he's always ready for Christmas at a moment's notice. Number 3, Torchic, Combusken, and Blaziken. OG firefighting, baby! Generation 3 had the overall best starters. Usually there's 1 or even 2 lame ducks you're not that excited about, but everyone in Hoenn was like equally appealing, and Torchic only slightly edges out the competition. It's a little chicken. It even gets the move Peck, despite not ever being flying type. That's respect to the source material right there. Evolves into Combusken, in which they doubled down on the poultry foundation by making him look like a big cock. We've all established that, right? Combusken is a penis with legs, arms, and a beak, and Popeye's most popular menu item after Chick-fil-A refused to touch it. Then we get Blaziken, who is literally a superhero vigilante in the X and Y anime, and for good reason, because that Pokemon can fight! Such a satisfying evolution. Number 2, Fennekin, Braixen, and Delphox. I think people are only averse to Delphox because they're literally watching Braixen age out of waifu range. Fennekin is the most adorable starter Pokemon, and my favorite first stage, and the Pokemon I would personally choose if I were to go on a real-life Pokemon adventure. It's based on the Fennec Fox, Fennec, which if you Google image search that, it will bring joy to anyone immediately. Then we get Braixen, who introduces the witch theme to the mix without being a disgusting old hag with 80 boils on her face and a poison apple, so that's neat. And before you say anything, Delphox has aged like fine wine, alright? She ain't no grandma. She is an experienced mystic in the prime of her adult life. The only reason she can't hear very well is because she has like 10 pounds of fur coming out of her ears, not because she's old, okay? Delphox is a spiritual guru who demands respect, so if you want to talk shit, I just hope you're prepared to have your soul get banished to the Shadow Realm with a Yugi's grandpa. Number 1, Froakie, Frogadier, and Greninja. Dude, this was tough. I'm a giant fan of the number 2 spot, but not only is Greninja Ash's best Pokemon in the series history, but it's just so awesome. Froakie is a cute starter with a standoffish personality. Frogadier is literally nothing. It's true. It's a ninja, but like not yet, so it kinda just exists. But damn, once it evolves into Greninja, it's game over, man. You've got one of, if not the most hype Pokemon in the whole universe. I don't even care that its scarf is its tongue. I just won't touch it. How about that? How about I just not touch Greninja's slobbery tongue scarf for no reason, and then I don't even have to take it into consideration? Greninja is what Samurott should have been, as I mentioned. Also, I would love to see an anime battle where Dwat faces an uphill battle against a Greninja. I think that would be beautiful to watch. Anyway, Greninja's the best. And that's the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you can like, share, and subscribe. Check out my Pokemon streams or watch me rank other things like waifus and bosses. Or just stick around and bask in my magnificence in general is another good option. Follow me on Twitter at Sunburned Albino, and I'll see you guys next time.